What's up, YouTube? This is me, Asian Dave, aka Fanatical for Jesus, aka Don Way, aka David Chu. Coming to you real quick. I wanna talk about this documentary that I just got done watching on Netflix. It was about the alt-right movement. It was literally called alt-right. It was called alt-right, the Age of Rage. And it was a pretty good documentary. I felt like it was pretty fair to both sides, both the alt right and the Antifa movement. Like it was, pretty fair to both sides. The documentary gave both sides equal time to present their viewpoints, and like it wasn't, I didn't feel it was biased in either direction. However, I do feel like the side that came out looking good was the Antifa, and the side that came out looking bad was the alt right. And I say this as someone who identifies himself as a conservative Republican. Yes, I'm a conservative Republican, and I stand against the alt right movement. I don't feel like the alt right movement is truly a movement that's good for conservatives to get behind, and I feel like the alt-right movement should be shunned by conservatives, by true conservative Republicans. The alt-right movement should be shunned by them. Like and I'm here to take the to stand up against the alt-right and say that I'm declaring war against the alt-right movement. So, so basically that's what I'm doing in this video. I'm declaring war against the alt-right movements. I don't like what they stand for. I don't like and I don't like who they are. They're despicable, disgusting human beings, especially Richard Spencer, the person who's in charge of the alt-right movement. Richard Spencer is a despicable and disgusting human being. And that's just the nice things to say about him. Anyways, so I do want to say they did like the documentary talked a little bit about Dylan Roof, and um, it just got me thinking. And liberals are always talking about Dylan Roof and how the police took him out to Burger King after they arrested him. So what? Who cares if the police took him out to Burger King and fed him before they actually detained him? You know, we feed prisoners in prison. We feed them every single day on a daily basis. And if you don't think that's a good argument if you don't think that's a good argument, well, guess what? When I was in juvenile detention, some of the staff members would sometimes bring us McDonald's as a reward for good behavior. They would bring us McDonald's in juvenile detention. Like, what was the outrage in that? I never heard anybody getting pissed off about that. Like, the only people that got pissed off were the people like me who didn't get McDonald's for good behavior because we weren't cool with the right staff. Like we weren't we weren't buddy buddy with the right staff members that were bending the rules to do that. So, um, yeah, so it was just mainly the kids that were on good behavior and that were buddy buddy with the staff with the right staff members who got the McDonald's as a reward. Anyways, but that's not about what this video is about. The next thing I want to talk about. Hold on. The next thing I want to talk about is Richard Spencer. Like one of the first things Richard Spencer did, like one of the first articles he came out with was an article titled "How to Cause a Black Genocide." Like, sound very familiar? Yes, it sounds extremely familiar. That's what Margaret Sanger wanted to do, the founder of Planned Parenthood. She wanted to cause a black genocide, and like it can it can be argued that she is like her plan for a black genocide is almost coming true because I mean black women have the highest abortion rates out of all out of every other race of women. Like black women are aborting their babies as at exponentially high numbers. So, like, I mean, for more information about that, I suggest you guys watch Ma'afa 21, Black Genocide in the 21st Century. That's Ma'afa 21, Maafa, Black Genocide in the 21st Century. But it's kind of funny that Margaret Sanger was a Democrat talking about um black genocide. Her wanting to bring about black genocide, and here we have an alt-right member, um, who's supposed to embody the values of conservatism, conservatism. Yeah, I can't say it. I'm too tired. But he's supposed to hold the ideals or hold Republican ideals. Um, and yeah, he's taught about black genocide too. Like that's why I say he's not really a Republican, because no true Republican will talk about black genocide. We're not. We're as a Republican Party. We're the party, the abolitionist movement. We're the party that wanted to free the slaves. So we're not gonna. We don't want to exterminate the slaves. We want to free the slaves. Like, and that's true today. We as a party want to free minorities from the shackles of slavery to the Democratic Party. That's what we want to do. We want to free minorities from the shackles of slavery to the Democratic Party. Like that's why I always say it's time for minorities to wake up and realize that the Democratic Party doesn't care for you. The Democratic Party doesn't care for us. The Democratic Party just wants us as a voting bloc so we continue voting for them while they do absolutely jack shit for us. Anyways, I'm getting off on a tangent. Um, the other thing I wanted to talk about. Oh, this was a good one. Richard Spencer said that African Americans are living far better off than Africans in Africa, so therefore slavery was good for black people. That's what Richard Spencer said. Like he said, look at how good African Americans are living in America compared to how bad Africans in Africa are living. So slavery was a good thing for them. That is so stupid. I wish that we could take all the white people who think like Richard Spencer, all the white supremacists who think like Richard Spencer, and I wish we could subject them into slavery for 400 years, and then turn around and tell them that slavery is good for them. Like that's the most ridiculous thing I ever heard someone say. And yet Richard Spencer says this with a straight face. Like he doesn't even crack a smile. He says it with a straight face and he says it as if it's perfectly rational. It's not perfectly rational. It's irrational. And also, what part of Africa are you talking about? Like, surely you can't be talking all about all of Africa, because I know specifically about an African in Ghana. My ex's friend is from Ghana, and he's living life pretty good. He's a radio host for a famous radio station in Ghana. He's a pastor, and he's a husband, and he has children. He's living a pretty good life. And he's like, I would say he's living a better life than a lot of African Americans are living here in America. Like that's just true. And I'm willing to bank on the fact that he's not the only African in Africa that's living a pretty good life. And there's a lot of African Americans that aren't living such a good life as they are. Like so so to say that he's thinking about, when he said that statement, he's thinking about the Africans like in Ethiopia that are starving to death. But they don't represent all of Africa. Africa is a big fucking continent. Like, that's not what Richard Spencer understands. Africa is a big fucking continent. There's there's some places of Africa that are flourishing, and there's some places of Africa that are destitute. So, though in the places that are flourishing, people are living really well. In the places that are destitute, people are living poorly and not good at all. But you can't lump all Africa as the same when Africa is a huge fucking country or continent. Like, that's Richard Spencer is so stupid. Anyways, so the next thing I want to talk about in the documentary is there was an incident at a rally of the alt right was holding a rally or something, and one of the all of the alt right members disobeyed the leader Jared Taylor. This is the first time I've heard of him, but he disobeyed the leader Jared Taylor and decided he was gonna attack one of the Antifa protesters. And then when he got his ass beat and he had to go get sent to the hospital, Jared Taylor gets up and he pretty much says that the guy disobeyed him, and he says he shouldn't have attacked him. What he should have just did was ignore the Antifa protesters. And then after he said they should have ignored the Antifa protesters, he said we are supposed to be a race of relatively high IQ. If we are supposed, wait, he said, then he said we are supposed to be the ones who set the rules. So here this goes again. White supremacists believe that they're the race that has the highest IQ. And that's just ridiculous. Like, their IQ is not based on race. Like, you do not have any race that's smarter than other races. There's smart people in some race. There's smart people in one race, and then there's dumb people in the same race. So, like, for instance, there's smart blacks and there's dumb blacks. There's smart whites and there's dumb whites. There's smart Asians and there's dumb Asians. And there's smart Spanish and or Hispanic and dumb Hispanics. And there's smart Native Americans and dumb Native Americans. Like, I can't believe I have to say this. Like, this should go without saying that there's smart and dumb people in every single race. No race is inherently smarter than other races. That's like the most ridiculous notion I ever heard. And yes, I understand that there are some fake studies, keyword on fake studies. There are some fake studies that say that white people have the highest IQ. Those studies are complete garbage and they're bullshit. Like, they're ridiculous. The race is not linked to IQ. Like, and this should go without saying, but obviously some people need to hear it because they don't they don't want to accept it, I guess. For the white people that think that they're so smart, I guarantee you if they were to talk to Neil deGrasse Tyson, who's a black man, I guarantee you they cannot match wits with Neil deGrasse Tyson. I'll put I'll bet money on the fact that a lot of these high IQ white supremacists, I'll bet money that a lot of them couldn't match wits with Neil deGrasse Tyson. Neil deGrasse Tyson will mop the floor with them. Like, anyways, and then he said, we are supposed to be the ones who set the rules. See, this is the thing. The white supremacists or the alt-right movement, they always want to be in control. They want to be the ones who set the rules. Well, I'm here to tell you, fuck you. You don't set the rules for shit. Like, like the thing is, like, you're gonna, yeah, you don't set the rules for shit. So, get out of here with that bullshit. Like, it's ridiculous. Um, and then, in response to the Confederate monuments being taken down, Richard Spencer says this is a symbol of white disposition. Fuck your white disposition. The monuments should be taken down because the South lost. Why should we honor something that the South. Why should we honor the Confederates when they lost? They're losers. They lost the war. Like, so why should we honor them? And that leads me to my next point, because the alt-right movement, they actually advocate for a Confederate History Month, since there is a Black History Month. Again, why would we want to honor the Confederates when they lost? Like, we should not have a Confederate History Month. That's the most ridiculous thing I ever heard. Like, the Confederates need to stop with that bullshit, man. Like, it's ridiculous. Like, I can't take it anymore. Like, the Confederate, the white supremacists with their bullshit is just ridiculous. Now, I know this doesn't reflect on all white people. Not all white people are white supremacists. What I'm talking about is those specific white people like Richard Spencer who are white supremacists. And unfortunately, they have hijacked the term conservative Republican to mean alt-right. And no, the conservative Republican does not mean alt-right. We are a separate party away from the alt-right movement. We are not the same. We are not in lock and step with them. And the other thing I wanted to know, like people try to say the alt-right isn't about they're trying to say the alt-right isn't about white supremacy. If that's the case, then why is it that every single rally that they go to, everywhere they go actually, they always carry Nazi flags? Let that sink in for a moment. And then I want to read the last two quotes that Richard Spencer said at the end of the documentary. He said, "White people are a minority in a country that once was theirs." First off, the country was never specifically for white people. Like that's where he got the. That's where he has he's mistaken. It's called the United States of America, meaning everybody's supposed to be united, like not divided. That which leads me to my next quote by Richard Spencer. He said, "I don't think the country will unite, and I don't think it should unite." So he doesn't think the country should unite. Then that's a terrible attitude to have. Like, that is a terrible attitude to have. To say that the country shouldn't unite. I want the country to unite. I want to see whites and blacks and Asians and Hispanics and Native Americans and like everybody under the sun living in harmony and uniting together because we are Americans. That's what we are. We're Americans. Before we're black, before we're Asian, before we're Hispanic, Native American, or whatever, we are Americans. And we're living in the United States of America. So therefore we should be united as one under God. Like, and that's what I want to see. I want to see America become more united. Unfortunately, as long as there's people out there like Richard Spencer, like I don't think that that's ever gonna happen. That's why we need to stand up against the alt-right movement and have them shut down. Like that's why I'm declaring war against the alt-right movement. I'm not standing with Antifa because I don't agree with a lot of things Antifa does. I don't agree with their violent actions. I don't condone their violence. So I'm not standing with Antifa. I'm not standing with the Black Lives Matter people. I'm just saying that as a conservative Republican, like I feel I need to make it known that I do not stand with the alt-right people. Like I stand in opposition to the alt-rights. And I want to see a more united America. I want to see whites, blacks, Asians, Hispanics, Native Americans, so on and so forth. I want to see us all united under one flag. and that's the American flag. That's what I want to see. Like, I don't want to see any more division. Like, it just makes me sad to see all the division that America is going through. And I don't know what's gonna stop the division. Like, I mean, like, we might need a new president. I think we do need a new president, because I feel like our president, Donald J. Trump, I feel that he is directly responsible for the alt-right movements. And the alt-right movement is directly responsible for Antifa. Antifa was created in response to the alt-right movement. So the alt-right movement is directly responsible for the creation of Antifa. Donald Trump is directly responsible for the creation of um, the alt-right movements, because Donald Trump, when he came out with his hateful rhetoric during his campaign, that's when the alt-right decided they felt like they were more empowered and emboldened to come out with their hatred. And I feel like we need to get rid of Trump, get rid of Trump out of the office, and put in a more well balanced and more logical, like, reasonable a person in the presidency. We need to put someone in office who is a lot more reasonable and a lot more balanced than Trump is. That's who I feel. I don't know who that person is. I don't know who that person will be that will be the perfect leader for America. But we need to find someone um who is good for standing, who is more logical thinking, and who is more reasonable and balanced in their thinking than how Trump is. Because and we need someone who's not afraid to stand up to the white supremacists, because Trump is afraid to stand up to the white supremacists, because if he stands up to them, then he's going to lose their vote. He's going to lose their support. And he doesn't want to lose their support. So he's afraid to stand up to them. But we need someone who isn't invested in the white supremacist camp, and so then therefore he won't be afraid to stand up to the white supremacists. Because right now the biggest problem in America is the white supremacist movement. And that's the alt-right movement. The alt-right movement and white supremacy go together. If you're part of the alt-right, then you're a white supremacist and you're part of the problem in America. I'm not afraid to admit it. I'm not afraid to say it. It may piss you off to hear that you're part of the problem in America, but it's the truth. If you're a white supremacist and you're an alt-right member, then you're the problem, and we need to eradicate the problem. Anyway, so that's all I have to say. This video has gone long enough. Let me know if you made it this far to this point. Please leave me a comment in the comment section below. And as always, don't forget to rate and subscribe. Alright, have a good night. God bless you. And deuces.